Okay, good evening, everybody. And once again, thank you so much, Pastor. This meeting has been very, very rich. It's been amazing. And I just kept wondering, what else do we need to add? Because we've seen a lot of things, we've heard a lot of things. So my assignment this evening will just be to build up on a few things we started talking about yesterday, and then touch a few more things that help us to be at the good or at the right position to scale the things we're doing. I'm trusting God to help me this evening, and I know He will. So I'm looking at the different things. So we're doing cassava, we're doing agriculture, and while Pastor was speaking, he said, what's the name of that general doing yam flour? And the other pastor replied, say, Ayola. And I'm like, I know that flour. I know it in every supermarket. You know Ayola? Yes. That just, while he said that, I'm just telling myself, there are levels to this thing. So you can actually be in the same thing, but playing at different levels, which is actually where this session comes in. So we're trying to look, how do we take these same things we're doing? So yes, I'm playing this, I'm doing that, and we're able to go to scale it, to make it grow. While I was in the university, I was an athlete. So I did martial arts for my university. I used to fight taekwondo. And I did combat. I fought a few competitions, used to go for university games. I presented my university at some competitions. But I remember my coach of blessed memory now, Coach Steve Ihom, an Olympian, 2 times African champion, was hired just to come and build a team in my university. He was a sports medical professional. He studied something called sports medicine. I think it's an offshoot of anatomy or something like that. So when we are on the pitch, or we are training, and we have injuries, or God come and you are telling him something, I say, Coach, today I cannot train, no, I have kata. He will tell you, give me your finger, your hand. And he will touch something on the hand, and the kata will go. Or like, what kind of jazz is this? If you tell him you're having headache, he will do some measurement at some point, and then there's one particular point, he will just touch the head, and then the headache will go in 5 minutes. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And I learned to understand, I got to learn that it's actually possible to control different parts of the body from a different part. Now, the simple reason I'm telling the story is to buttress the concept of cause and effect. Sometimes, the result we are looking for in one area does not need an input from that area. The input you need is somewhere else. So, when we are talking about exponential growth, we are thinking growth. Maybe what we are expecting is 7 laws of exponential growth. The thing stopping the growth is not in the place that the growth manifests. It may be somewhere else in one other aspect of your life. When you tweak that place, the growth takes off. So when you understand how these things are connected, it's like disease and symptoms. When you are sick, malaria. When you have malaria, what do you feel? Fever and headache. What is the medicine for headache? Paracetamol. But you have malaria. You think you have headache. So you take paracetamol. What happens? The headache will go and come. It will go and come unless you treat the disease. So it's the same issue we have in Nigeria as a country. You have symptoms we are trying to solve. Unemployment. Those are not diseases, they are symptoms. Every government has been trying to solve unemployment. You cannot solve because it's not a disease. You need to face where is the real problem. When you face the problem, symptoms will disappear. So why I'm saying this, just to lay a foundation for the things I'm going to be saying this evening, so that we understand that while what I'm going to be saying may not look like what you are expecting to see, but these are the places you touch so that you see growth in other areas. And we started yesterday by talking about you being at the center, that you are the center of everything that happens to you. We said you are the heart, meaning whatever happens to you affects everything that you do. So if you want to see a change in any area of your life, where should you focus on? The person in the middle. You are thinking, how can my finances grow? Leave finance. come to you. How can my business grow? How can my ministry grow? How can my family be better? How can my marriage be better? It is not the marriage. It is the people in the marriage. Because that you are having problem in your marriage does not mean that the institution called marriage is faulty. Because while you are having issues in your own, somebody else is enjoying their own. So the real issue is not with the institution. It's with the person. So when you say business is not doing well, the issue most times is not the business. I mean, I'm just reminding ourselves where we stopped yesterday. But now, when most of us want to now begin to make changes, we're thinking, okay, now I want to make changes in my life. I want to see different. I want to see something different in my life. We now begin to start to change. And then we get frustrated because we're trying to make change happen from the wrong direction. Everything, growth, change, where does it start from? Inside. Growth does not begin on the outside. If you want to experience growth, now this is it, cause and effect. Where do we see growth? On the outside. So suddenly, this guy runs a business and he has one shop. Then we come back in 6 months and we see he has 4 shops. Then we come back in 1 year, he has 12 shops. We think it is shop that is increasing. But the real thing changing is the person. And I learned this one the hard way. Myself. We started a school with my wife. I told you yesterday. It was a daycare center we started. Can't forget. We had so much faith. We went to go and rent a big building that can take 80 children. And then we had 2 for like the first almost 3 months. 2 babies, daycare center. And then when my pastor came to dedicate the place, he was like, you people have faith. We said, Pastor, you teach us faith. Now how can we not have faith? And we took this place. And he said, how many children will fill? We said 80 children will fill it. And by 80 we'll break even and all of that. And so every time he sees me in church, so how many are you now? So we are 12. Oh, great. God is God. How many are you now? 25. How many are you now? 40. And then we were growing steadily. Then we got to about 70. And we plateaued. 70 became the number. If we cross 70 by 3, something will happen that will take us back to 68. We kept on revolving around that 70. I said, yes. So after a while, I began to avoid my pastor. Because how many are you now? The number was not increasing. Initially, I was excited to give him an update. Now that there's no progress, I'm dodging the man. I said, how many are you now? I'm like, Pastor, where? So one day we asked ourselves, what is the issue? Are there village people sitting at number 70 that have said you will not cross 70? What is the issue going? And then thankfully, that was when I was doing a master's in organizational leadership. I began to study organizations. And then I realized the secret. Organizations stop at the level of the leaders. So I told my wife, hey, this school is not the problem. The problem is me and you. We have reached our limit. That number 70 was our limit for leadership. And I realized at that point I had about 15 staff. That was our limit for managing people. The revenue we're making was our limit for managing finances. If we make a 16th hire, that 16th person will be a very bad one. That will come and do something and 10 parents will go. And we go back to 60. And then if we'll make one useless financial decision that was not calculated well and something will happen. And I just told her, you know what, leave this school alone. Let's focus on us. And that was when we told ourselves, okay, let's start aggressive personal growth. Aggressive personal growth. We live in Uyo. We hear they are doing seminar in Lagos. Both of us will fly to Lagos for 1 day seminar, go back. They are doing this in here. We started going everywhere looking for knowledge. I just woke up one day and school was 150. I cannot tell you what we did. That this is what we touched. That school went to 150. School just followed us as we're growing. It was following us because suddenly we're getting wiser. We're making better decisions. We're managing our finances better. And so things were just the me of before that I want to maybe address a customer and because I'm learning how to talk to people, I'm learning just as you grow, it just begins to affect all the areas of your business. Where were we seeing the change? In the numbers. Where was the real change happening? Inside. And I say, I have discovered this thing non-stop. We will continue. That's how we kept going. 250, 350, 450, 550, 650. The last I counted, we're approaching 850. And so anywhere they are learning anything, just be going. Because the day we stop, this growth stops. It begins on the inside. You are the person who makes everything happen. And you see, what really causes frustration when we talk about growth is this. You capture a vision. You see a picture of where you're supposed to be. You start this business today, and it is here. And where you are seeing a distance that this is possible. Usually, we forget that the person who receives a vision is not the same person who accomplishes it. The vision actually requires you to change into a different kind of person that can make that vision possible. The Joseph that we are studying, the Joseph that saw sun, moon, and stars bowing to him, is not the Joseph that led Egypt. Totally different Joseph. Same person, but a transformation happened that took him to that person. The Moses that saw deliverance for Israel and the Moses that ended up leading Israel out of Egypt, they're not the same Moses now. Check how he handled the matter the first time and the one the second time. The man had totally transformed. So, usually, the gap between vision and reality is actually a transformation gap. And it's a personal transformation gap. And when we want to transform, give me that next slide, that do have. There's a principle here, I call it the transformation cheat code. This particular concept is right in front of us, but most times we don't see it. Whenever you're thinking of change, thinking of transformation, we read a scripture yesterday, Genesis 1:28. Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and have dominion. Fruitfulness, what do you do to fruitfulness? Be. You are fruitful. It's who you become. What do you do with multiplication? Multiplication is a doing now. Do you be multiply? You do multiplication. Then what happens to dominion? So first you become, then you do, then you have. It's a cheat code. Do you know what we do as human beings? We want to have so that we can do, hoping to become. If I have money, I will do business, then I will be successful. The Bible gave us the format. We reversed it. So you hear somebody saying, I have a lot of pastor friends saying, if I have 500 members, I can do this kind of program, so I can. I'm like, no, you don't have members to do program to be the kind of pastor. You become the pastor first that can do the kind of program that will bring the people. Be, do, have. When you become, doing becomes effortless. And when you do, having is just a consequence of doing. So really, you don't even struggle to have. What you have is a function of what you do, and what you do is a function of who you become. Let me give you some practical examples. I'll say it again. Yes. What you have is an outcome of what you do. And what you do is a function of who you have become. Do you know the amount of physics and engineering required for you as a human being to stand on two legs without falling? Go and ask robotics engineers how long it took to get robots to walk on two legs. You think it's easy? What stands on two legs and does not fall? So inside you, there is an invisible gyrometer, something giving you balance, that you can even run, you can jump. It looks effortless to you. Do you know why? That is who you are. You are created with the ability to walk on two legs. If it's easy, may dog run now. A dog of 4 legs is wondering, how are these human beings walking on 2 legs? A dog will try to walk on 2 legs. How far can it go? It can do a few steps and fall. When you have not become, doing cannot be sustained. If it is not in your being, you cannot do it. So you can attempt to say, but this pastor is doing it. This guy is doing it. Let me do what they are doing. If you try to do what they are doing without becoming who they have become, it will not work. You will stress and you can't sustain it. 30 December last year, I was in Lagos with my family. I have 3 kids, so we're 5. And we came to Lagos. When we were coming, we bought a one-way ticket because our itinerary was not guaranteed and all of that. By the time we were sure, we had to buy a return ticket to go back to Uyo. No flights. All flights sold out till like 29th of December. We're supposed to go back and do Christmas in Uyo. I said, I can't stay in Lagos for another 6 or 7 days. Check Port Harcourt, no flights. Check Calabar, no flights. Check all the cities, Enugu. I say, wait first. Money no day. Now spirit the entire flight. Who is filling up this flight? But anyway, I checked and I just began to ask myself, hold on. You mean I'm going to stay in Lagos? And I just could not imagine going on the road. So I told myself, okay, 2 options, we stay. And I said, what face? And all these boys flying private jet up and down, do they have 2 heads? For the first time, I went to go and check price of how do you charter a flight? What is this? Bring this flight. Let me come and carry my family to you. And I saw the price. And when I looked at the price, I'm like, but Osimhen is doing this thing. Davido is doing this thing. Why can't I do it? And to be honest, right, with the price I saw, if I shake all my accounts, you know how you do that thing? You move this one here, go to Piggyverse, empty it. I will charter that flight. And I will fly private jets. And I will land in Uyo. But after you have emptied all the accounts and you land in Uyo, body go tell you, why? You are trying to do without becoming. These boys, 1 weekend football allowance will make that jet possible. Because they have become something that doing becomes effortless. Me, I have not become me. That doing is effortful. So I will struggle because who am I trying to impress? I just told myself, David, calm down. Go and become. When you become, there's a level I will get to. It is not me that will charter the flight. It is the person who needs me where he needs me to be that will charter the flight. At that point, entering private jet becomes easy because I have become. So now I can do, then I can have. Very simple cheat code. You are trying to, so go and check your goals. You've written goals for, this is January. You know the mistake, go and check your goals. You will be surprised that most of your goals will be to do, to have, to do, to have. Go and check. That is why we set goals year in, year out. And it's not happening. Because we're not setting the right goals. The right goal to set is what? Become. So when I know what I need to have, or I want to do, the question I should ask myself is, who do I need to become in order to be able to do this? And then the goal for the year is, how do I become this? Because once I become it, those other things, they just follow you. So your life becomes it's like magic. Like, how are you doing this thing? Okay, I have become what you did not know last year. So what I could do last year, because of who I was, I have become a different person. You can't expect my results to be the same. Very simple cheat code. And so, becoming is the actual gap between vision and reality. When you become, the vision just comes automatically. Now, how do you start that journey of becoming? I'm going to show you something very practical on the screen. Because your life is compartmentalized. Our lives have different parts. Please give me that wheel of life. If you can do this activity, and I hope that you all have paper, so we're going to do it right now. The wheel of life is an activity that actually shows you where you are. Because if you're going to start a journey of becoming, you need to know, where am I starting from? What am I working on? And where am I going? So look at this. I'm afraid to ask for this board. Let me not ask for it. If you have this circle, if you have a piece of paper, please draw that circle on your screen, on your paper. Just draw that circle. What you simply do is divide it into different parts, into different segments. Each segment represents a different section of your life. So you have your spiritual life, you have your finance, you have your career, your intellectual life, your physical and health, your marriage. Just as many compartments as you can think of. I gave you a possible list there. But just divide them into different parts. Now, inside that, those lines, divide each line on a scale of 0 to 10. Please just follow me. Do the cycle. Draw as many compartments as you can. Each line has like 0 to 10. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 10. Are we there? The first day I did this thing, okay, let me not tell you. Let's finish it first. Are we there now? Now, what to do is, it's a very simple activity and you get a result right away. Take each compartment. So label them, just so you have that on career, social, and all of that. Take each compartment of your life and ask yourself, so 10 is where I desire to be. As far as your eye can see. 10 is your destination. 0 is 0. So if you take spiritual life, what is your goal for your spiritual life? I want to get to a point where I'm so in touch with God, I can hear his voice, even on the go, on the fly. I mean, that is your goal for spiritual life. That is 10. 0 is you are not even born again. Finance, where is 10 for you? 10 is what is the level of life you want to live financially? At what level do you want to operate financially? That's number 10. 0 is like 0. Now, for each of those lines, you will put where you are now on a scale of 0 to 10 for where you are going. Where you are now, is it a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a 9? You understand it? Please, I need you guys to do it. If you can, it's a gift you're going to give yourself this evening. Sorry? Up to 40? Can I use the board? Do you understand what I'm trying to do? Can I do, sir? Okay. I was actually afraid to use the board. Okay, so just that the people on the sides will not see it very well. So this is your life is this circle. Now this is the middle. So this is finance. This is health. This is career. This is each line is a different compartment. You get the point. Now 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the middle is 0, the top is 10. For you, let me ask anybody randomly. Financially, on your financial goals, on a scale of 0 to 10, where will you give yourself now? 2, 1. Okay, so somebody says 2. So for that finance line, put an X on number 2. Spiritual life, where will you rate yourself? 0 to 10. 10. Okay? So spiritual life, somebody's at 10. So, no, is it you? Career, where are you? On your career projections. 0 to 10, where do you think you are? Now, for everybody, it's going to be different. So you can be a 6 here, you can be a 2 here, you can be a 9 here, you can be a 5 here, all of that. What you will do is now join all the dots. Join the circles, all the dots for the different components of your life. Do you have that? Now, what you have, this is supposed to be a wheel, right? What happened to wheels? When you roll a wheel, it moves, ba? Your life now, this is your wheel. So if we roll this wheel, it go move? No, don't judge my own, no. Do your own. You don't move. This is why your life is feeling stuck. Because there are areas of your life that you have not paid attention to. It is better that your life, everything is a 2 over 10. If everything is 2 over 10, you will be here. You just now you're operating at a level 2 life. If you are 5, you are 5 over 10. But most of us, our lives are like trapezium. There are areas where we are doing very well, and there are areas where we have not paid attention to. And as much as you think this area should advance you, this is the part that is holding you back. Because even if this is a circle, this part that goes in, when you roll it, when it gets to this point, it will get stuck. So that part of your life that you are thinking, well, it's not important. It's not social now. What is social labor? I don't need a social life. So you don't know anybody important in this life. You don't go anywhere. Small matter, police harass you. You don't have anybody you can call to get out of police matter because you think it's not important. The day will come that it is that thing that will put you in trouble. That part you didn't pay attention to. Oh, you know what? I don't care about fitness and health. No problem. You will be doing well on other areas, but your health will become the thing that will get you stuck. So imagine this. You are spiritual 10 over 10. So you can kill all the demons in the neighborhood, but you cannot pay your rent. So you finish fasting and praying and bringing down heaven, and the next door is your landlord harassing you. Or your career is doing fine. You have money, financially you are doing well, but spiritually zero. Your child is sick in the midnight, you are calling doctor, you can't even just lay hands on him. You don't understand. The spiritual life, you don't understand what is going on. You need that balance in every area of your life if you will live a significant life. So you need to start by doing this genuinely and honestly. Like I said, the first time I did this, I looked at my life in 3D. I told myself, David, there is work. And the work actually starts by understanding where you are. So give me back my slide. Yeah, what does your life look like? What does your will look like? Is your will looking like the one on the screen, or is it a circle? Now, when you understand or identify the parts of your life that you are struggling the most, problem number 1 has been solved. At least now you have done diagnosis. You know, Kai, my financial life, my family life, my parenting is the problem. I'm doing well on my job, but my kids are not getting attention. Parenting is what is going to spoil my life. Because when these children begin to give me headache, even the business I finished building, I will crash it because of what these children will become. You think it does not? Every area of your life is interconnected. The part you don't pay attention to will slow you down. Now that I've understood the diagnosis, how do you make growth happen? How do you say, okay, now I want to work on this. Now I want to work on that. I'm going to give you another very simple framework. I'll show you how growth happens. There's something called the growth cycle. It's on your screen. 6 steps that makes growth possible. Every time your life is advancing, your life is growing, this, whether consciously or unconsciously, you go through this cycle. At the center of every growth, the raw material, the key ingredient for growth is information, is knowledge. So number 1 is what we start from. You are exposed to new information. In fact, there's a way they say it. The area of your life you are struggling with the most is likely the area you have least information. So you don't know anything about that area. What you don't know, you don't know. I mean, see how we start down here, and these agri people were talking, and some of us were sounding, feeling like Dundies. Because what you don't know, you don't know. It's not your area. So if you will experience growth, you have to start with what is the knowledge, what is the information in this place that I need. So if I want to focus on my finances, what information do I need to begin to redeem my financial life? Or in my parenting area, my parenting is struggling, I need knowledge about parenting. Parenting is not a default. We didn't go to any parenting school. You see, marriage is even better. Before marriage, they gave us small marriage classes. Not as if the marriage class is sufficient to make your marriage work, but at least they helped you to get started. Parenting, who taught you? The day it became born, all of us came and told you congratulations, and we ate rice, and then we left you with work that nobody taught you how to do. So many of us just simply carry default. How we were parented, how we saw people parenting, let's just do it. And so we're doing trial by error. You need information in any area you want to grow. So if you identify that area, first thing is, how do I get knowledge? Do I need to read books? Do I need to go for courses? Do I need to go for conferences? When we discovered in our business that time, people management, finance management, all of those things, we began to take training in those areas. We got to another point, and the team plateaued again. I told my people, oh yeah, this time around, but I'll show you, the principle is the same. I'm going to show you. So first thing, you need information. However, information does not automatically lead to change or transformation. There's a journey it goes through. When you get information, the first step is do what? Observation. This is where you actually carefully look what this man is saying. What is the principle inside? Because most times when we are writing is information. Most of the things you are writing will not help you. Sorry to burst your bubble. Many of the notes that we write, when you get to a particular level, you understand that people whose lives change What they write is not what the speaker is saying. If you are writing what I'm saying, all you are collecting is information. Information will not change your life. You need to look at the information and begin to ask, what is the principle? What is the secret in what he's saying? And that comes from proper observation. You can call it meditation. That's why when you have read something and you slow down, sometimes you just keep quiet to think about it. That meditation, that is when the Holy Spirit starts working. You know what the Holy Spirit does? He takes you to number 3. What's number 3? Revelation is when you start seeing what the speaker is not saying inside what he's saying. So I'm talking now and I'm just giving you information. But revelation is giving you exactly what I am saying that my words are not explaining. And revelation is personal. What you are seeing and what the next person is seeing is different. In fact, it's at the point of revelation that people are saying, So you are wondering, this man is speaking, that guy is shouting. What are they saying that he's shouting? He has caught revelation. You are still hearing information. So you need to go beyond what is being said and begin to ask, what is God saying inside what? So when you read books, don't just read books, say, I've read the book. As you are reading the book, ask yourself, what is the revelation in this book? When you go for courses, not to go for conference. Yeah, I came back, we came on certificate, we went for conference. People have been going for conference and coming back, nothing changed in their life. Because they went to conference and came back with what? Information. They can repeat what was said. Oh, that meeting was powerful. See what they said. That does not change your life. Revelation is what gets to the point of number 4. Because when revelation comes, it leads to number 4. Implication. Implication now is where you're asking yourself, this thing that I am seeing, this thing that they are saying, what shall we do? Or what shall I do about this thing? Because if you don't ask yourself, what is the implication of what is being said? It can't change your life. People can catch revelation. And you see, if you have revelation without implication, it's not complete. There's this scripture in the Bible. And the sons of Issachar, right? They had understanding of the times. What was that? Revelation. And knew what Israel ought to do. Implication. Whatever gave them understanding of time, everybody else saw it. They were not in a different planet. Meaning, whatever data they had access to, everybody had access to the same data. That was information. But they had the ability to see in information what others were not seeing. That's what gave them understanding of times and seasons. But after having understanding of times and seasons, they also knew what Israel ought to do. So for every information, there is a revelation that you should be asking yourself, what do I need to do based on what is being said? Now, when you get to number 4, you're on the fence of change. You're on the fence of growth. Growth has not happened yet. You are the point. You have gotten to the point where growth can happen. And usually, somebody can help you to go from 1 to 4. Coaches, mentors, they help you speed in the process. So sometimes, if you have a mentor, you have a coach, you have somebody who is guiding you, they can help you see in information what you don't see on your own. So for those of, I don't think they are here though, people that say, no, I don't do mentors. I do maps and mirrors. I don't have coaches, you don't have anybody. The truth is, right, without a mentor in your life, you will still get to where you are going, but slower and with many mistakes. Mentors help you avoid the mistakes that you will have made. I want to cross this river. And I'm telling myself, I want to be a self-made man. So I'll cross the river myself. Meanwhile, this my brother had crossed the river before. He fell 3 times. He knows where the stones are. Oh, God, help me. Say, oh, no, put your leg there. Put your leg there. The guy who is doing self-made man is falling to discover his own stones. Before he finishes crossing the river, I have reached the 3rd river or the 4th river to cross because I had help. So you need to get to that point. An application is now where you say, based on what we need to do, from number 5 rather, Oyo, who can apply for you? Only yourself. There are things in your life nobody can do for you. So if you need to go and start making changes in the way you live, maybe you get information, and the wisdom, the implication there is that with the current state of my life, I need to start doing exercise. That is number 4, implication. However, who can exercise for you? Unless you do number 5, you don't get number 6. What we are looking for is number 6, transformation. But what gives us that number 6? application. Once you do application, number 6 is a consequence. You don't struggle for transformation. Once you do different things, you get different results. So the challenge is in the area of my life where I am having trouble, how do I get new knowledge that leads me to the point where I can know new actions to take? The new actions will automatically generate what? New results. This thing looks very simple. But this is the change. This is what you're looking for. You're expecting that this will be rocket science. It's not rocket science. It's really very simple. So take it, go through. The next time you are listening to something, just be listening to it with the mind that, how do I get to the point of what can I apply? What do I need to do differently? So when they're asking questions about what kind of fish farm, what kind of hydroponic farm, you're asking yourself, what do I need to do differently? And once you begin to do that, you automatically start having different results. So it looks like, oh, praise God, I have left that level. Because the truth is, you will leave that level. However, when you have left that level, you go to the next point of problem. Give me that next slide. You know what stagnation is? You have moved, and then you have stopped moving. We're talking about exponential growth. Not the growth that happens once, but the growth that keeps happening again and again and again. So what happens at stagnation usually is that you have experienced the growth cycle in your life, and you have actually grown. You have actually experienced some change, and things are different for you. But now you get to a point, and you've plateaued. 5 years ago, you did this, but now it's no longer working. You can't move beyond this point. And people knew that this guy was a fast mover, high riser. What happened to him? It's very simple. He or she plateaued. And you know why you plateau? Because you are probably living life continuously on same revelation. The revelation that worked in 2020 may not work in 2025. So, if you will survive now, what do you need? New information again, new cycle. That is why it is not just important to have revelation and know what God said. You need to know what God is saying. It is the same God that told the Jews, all these animals are unclean, don't eat them. The same God came under there and said, Peter, rise, kill, and eat. Peter is reminding God and say, you said. God said, yes, I said, I have moved. Me that said, I am telling you, I am still the one saying. That was for a season. That era has passed. The same Jesus that told the disciples, go only to the Jews, don't go to the Gentiles. After a time says, now. So if you get stuck with what God said, that you cannot hear what God is saying, stagnation happens. So it's not just enough to be correct. You have to be current. In this time and season and now, what is God saying? So, I made money in 1995. I made money in 2005. 2025. How to make money? You need to find out what is the information and the revelation for today. For the now. And so, that is what leads us to this concept called the growth spiral. Please give me that next slide. The growth spiral is simply the growth cycle, rinse and repeat. So, level 1, you got information at this level. You went through the growth cycle, experienced transformation at that level, and you've exhausted that knowledge and that revelation. What do? One notch higher. Go for a higher level of information and knowledge. Experience the transformation at that level, then do what again? So, you never stop. On this journey of exponential growth, you don't arrive. You keep on going and going and going. And what makes it difficult sometimes is that every time you want to access new information, that new information is above your current level. Please pay attention to this. There's a very simple hack here. If you can get this, you unlock something big. You've unlocked the growth at this level where you are. Now you need to experience a different level of growth. But the knowledge that will get you there is not available at this level. So you need to get to a higher level to access higher knowledge. And usually, because these things are kept higher, you need to stretch. And that stretch usually takes extra effort. Sometimes extra finances. The course you need for your next level, the price of the course, you have never paid it before. That is how you know you are growing. If you are only doing what is comfortable for you, you are not growing. Because growth and comfort, they don't live on the same street. If you are growing, there's some discomfort. If you are comfortable, you are not growing. If you will grow, something must push. You must stretch beyond your level. So when you are trying to pay for a course and you are having to negotiate payment terms and saying, but this course is beyond my level, congratulations, you are growing. Because you are stretching to access new knowledge that will pull you out of your current level to the next level. The guys who are saying, what are people even learning in those courses? When they hear how much we pay for courses, if you don't pay for those courses I go for, you cannot know what I know. Did you hear how much pastor says he's paying for courses? When I tell my staff sometimes, in fact, I don't tell my people the prices I pay for conferences anymore. Because they'll just think I'm unreasonable. Because I've taken all their salaries for 1 year combined. I'm going to pay for one coaching program. And like, this guys have. But you see, it is those places I go to that allow us to think the way we think. That takes all of you who are working in this company to the level that we are going. If I stop going to those places, all of us plateau. And you know why I like Nigeria? Nigeria is one of the easiest places to stand out. Do you know why? Because your competition is lazy. Your competitors are all very lazy. Microwave, quick fixes, shortcuts is what everybody wants. So once you are able to, you don't need too much effort in this country to stand out. Everybody seems to want what is just comfortable. So once you can push a little above the average, you stand out. This is a secret I'm telling you. I know my generation. We are very, very... No, we are not lazy. It's one person that called us lazy and we revolted. So let me know. See, the Bible says, Proverbs 23:23, buy the truth, sell it not. Buy wisdom, instruction, and understanding. Did you hear the word? How do you get it? Did they share it for free? You buy. Meaning it will cost you something. The wisdom you need for your next level will cost you something. The information, the instruction, the understanding you need to live the level you are, it will cost you something. Sometimes it is money. Sometimes it is other currencies. My brother said, you pay attention. At least you are still buying, you are paying something. You have different currencies. You are either paying your time, you are paying attention, you are paying energy, but you are paying something. It will cost you. And because the average person is not willing to pay for it, you leave them behind because you access things that they cannot access. This is where stretching comes in. This is where growth comes in. This is where the push comes in. So when you see young people who are saying, well, what's their self? These people are doing, don't worry. Just keep going. Ask yourself, where is the next place I need to go to? I can't forget when I went to do an executive program at Lagos Business School. I just knew I had reached a point where, no, this thing is not working anymore. I had exhausted my knowledge. So to start a business, all you need is knowledge of a vertical. Agriculture, or tech, or accounting, or whatever. If you have knowledge in that domain, you can start a business. But you get to a point, as the business grows, your knowledge finishes. I got to a point, my businesses was employing like 180 people. I'm now employing accountants. I'm employing HR. I'm employing people. And my accountant is giving me a report. I cannot interpret the report. Yet, I am CEO. Audit report. If auditors gave me a report, I'm asking them, what does the report say? Because I did not do accounting. This computer science. I read code that has to be right. I know Sabi. I told myself, no, David, you can't embarrass yourself here. Go and look for knowledge. When they told me the fees at LBS, it's just beside you here. You people know. You can check the price. I said, what are they going to teach us for 6 months? Executive program. I came to the school just to come and explore. And I met some, so what are you doing? I said, I'm doing tech. I have this company. I said, no, you need to do this program. Owner-manager program. It's for people like you. I told them, what are the payment terms? They told me. When I told my wife I'm doing the program, my wife said, but we had gotten to a point, both of us, no amount of money is too much for knowledge. Because when we see courses on knowledge, we don't ask ourselves, how much is it? We simply check the value and ask ourselves, am I worth this amount of investment in? If this course is $10,000, I ask myself, am I important enough to invest $10,000 in myself? You know, that flips the equation. Suddenly you are like, no, I need to do this course because I am much more, I need to have 10,000. I know, there is one secret. Let me tell you this one. I'll lower my voice. Garbage in, garbage out. The Bible says, give and it shall be given to you. The part I'm looking for there is same measure, press down, shaking together. The measure by which you give shall men give back to you. Now, garbage in, garbage out. The measure by which you pour into yourself shall men use to take out of you. If you pour knowledge into yourself in cups, when they want to draw knowledge out of you, what will they use? Cup. That is the value that has gone into you. If you use jug to pour in yourself, when they are fetching out of you, what will they use? Jug. They can't use bucket to fetch out of you when it was cup you used to pour into yourself. You are saying, nobody is paying me so amount of money. Have you ever invested that kind of amount of money yourself? Why should they pay you? You have not qualified to be paid in millions when you have never invested millions in yourself. Period. This is a hack. When I discovered it, I'm like, why didn't anybody tell us this in on time? In fact, even you don't have the liver to bill people that kind of money because your brain has not become familiar with that kind of money. But when you have paid in dollars and thousands of dollars for your training, and somebody says, do this for me, you have the moral right and the impetus to tell them, pay me $5,000 because you know what it costs to pay somebody. So for many of you, in the last 1 year, in the last 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, all the trainings you've been going for are 40K, 50K trainings. When they want to pay you, what will they do? Press down, shaking together. 80K, 90K, 100K. That is the press down of 100 or 50,000. That's what they will pay you, in the tens of thousands. If you pay hundreds of thousands to train yourself, when they are paying you, what will they do? Press down, shaking together, but same measure. Same measure. Running over 100,000 cannot be 5 million. That is unrighteous. It's not the same measure. When measure runs over, it is hand they use to patch the remaining. The jar cannot be more than the content. So you can't expect 5 million to be running over 100,000. No, man. You get it? Push yourself. Drag yourself. Whatever it is, tell yourself, I need to live. Sometimes that glass ceiling above your head, it won't break by itself. It is you that will carry hammer and break it. And say, I have been at this level all my life. I need to move to the next level. What do I need to do to get to that next level? And I'm just showing you, it is access knowledge and information at that level. And there's something that comes with those kind of decisions. Because when you enter a room where everybody paid 2 million to attend, it means everybody in that room is playing at that level. You break into a new network automatically. Oh, nations will come to me. They will need me in the UK. They will need me in London. But nobody in your phone contact is in London. You have not gone to the places where the people from those places interact. You are still going to conferences that undergraduates are attending. Free seminar. When it's free, let's go there. See, you don't need all the information in the world. What you need is privileged information. And privileged information are not shared in common places. They deliberately make those meetings small. And how do they make it small? Raise the fee. They will not come. So tell yourself, wait when I want to talk for that one, I will make I hear. I go hear them. I will enter that room to hear it. How do you enter the room? Pay the money. Those things, see, it's like, people don't understand your life. I'm just telling you this, and I'm not telling you textbook theories. These are things that I have seen practical, and I've seen that this is the pattern. It works. Ask the people who are making it. They will tell you this. For most times, they will not want to tell you because they're like, no cast format. I told you yesterday, the pyramid was designed to be so. There needs to be a bottom for a top to exist. So, those at the top are comfortable that you are ignorant. They are comfortable that you should remain at the bottom because it makes it easy for them to stay at the top. Anybody can get to the top, but not everybody will get to the top. Let me share something with you in my last 10 minutes, and then I'll tell you what I'll do if I still have a session tomorrow. Let me show you something. There's this triangle. Give me that triangle. The corporate pyramid. Every workplace, for those of you who are career people who work in organizations, this will help you. Every organization is arranged this way. There's the bottom, there's the middle, and there's the top. To enter the bottom of any organization, what you need is IQ. You need to be smart. You need to know your field. Is it accounting? Is it medicine? Is it coding? What is the skill? The skill of the industry is what you need to enter the industry, and you enter at the bottom. So, you are in a hospital, you are a good doctor, but if all you know is medicine, where are you playing? At the bottom. And at the bottom, what do they deal with? Process. Surgery. How do we do surgery? How do we build an app? How do we do design? How do we balance accounts? So, the processes of the industry happens at that level. So, most people who just do jobs directly in the industry, they are playing at the bottom. And you wonder, why are we not going to the top? The next level, which is middle, what you need there, emotional intelligence. Because at the middle management, you're not managing process. You're managing the people who manage the process. So the skills you need are different. And here's the thing with training. When you are taking training and getting information, don't take training or information for the level you are. Already, you had information that brought you here. Take training for the level you want to go to. Because in the corporate space, you don't get promoted based on performance. You get promoted based on potential. Not what are you doing well, but what can you do? A security man can be a fantastic security guard. I said, because he's doing well at the gate, let's make him head of something. Error. So people do very well in organizations. When you look at the performance and promote them, now for employers, this is one mistake we make. This guy is doing well, so let's make him head of a team. But he's good with processes, has IQ, understands the tech, understands the code, understands the industry, but can't manage people. So when you put him head of a team, he messes the whole place up. So some of you are very good at your industry, very good at your skill, but you have plateaued because you have not shown potential for the next level. So they just say, no, this guy is good, just leave him there. But when they see potential for the next level, they go there. And the next level, you now need people skill. So beyond your technical skill, beyond industry skill, how do you manage people? How do you manage emotions? How do you manage all of those things at that middle management level? That's what happens there. Then the top level, cognitive competence. Now think they think for there. If you don't know how to think, you don't play at the top. Because at the top, they don't discuss process. They don't discuss people. What do they discuss? Profit, no. When you go for board meetings, they are not discussing how do we do surgery. They are looking at profits. So if you will even play at this level, you need to build your ability to talk numbers. When you are making presentations, graphs, charts, you don't go to your CEO's office and they're telling him, yes, sir, the gate man, that manager, he's the CEO. No. How do you convince him? Bring a graph. Sir, in last quarter, this location made this percentage. We moved this guy to that place. And in that place, he made this percentage. Because that place is important, if we move him there, show him how he will make more money. He will answer you. So if you're going to talk to the people at that level, even your vocabulary needs to change. Your skill, your competence needs to evolve. So sometimes we are wondering, but why am I not getting promoted? It's simply this. You've not understood the structure of the industry or the structure of the workplace. Just go and tell yourself this next year. Now, why am I telling all of these things? Because if you will experience exponential growth, the focus of your growth and your learning needs to change. Where should it face? You. What do I need to do? What do I need to have? To be able to do that, who do I need to become? What I'm going to do tomorrow, if I have a session, is that I'm going to be showing you some core areas of your life to start paying attention to. So we've done the growth.
You have a sessions.
Thank you, sir. So I will show you some domains of life that you need to pay attention to. And not just that, I will be trying to... I'll give you some formulas. There are some other formulas for success that if you apply them, it's impossible to go wrong. I mean, I was in this university in Indonesia one time, in Jakarta. Christian university called UPH, Universitas Pelita Harapan. Christian university in the heart of Jakarta. Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in the world by number, not Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia may be higher by percentage, but in terms of sheer numbers, Indonesia has more Muslims than anywhere. In the capital of this city, there is a Christian university. This university, on the wall, there's scripture everywhere. Yet Muslims fool the place. How do you do this in the heart of a Muslim city? And yet they don't mind they are coming. So one of us said, no, I need to go and ask. So she found a way to go meet the provost of the university, or the director. I says, how are you able to do this? And he said something very simple. He says, very simple. Content and container. Have the content, put good container, they will come. You know, he said that thing casually. When I went to expand it, I'm like, Kai, there's a hack there. I'll share it tomorrow. God bless you.